Hey parents, if your child is struggling with things like autism, ADHD, anxiety, seizures, sensory challenges, or chronic health issues that don't just seem to resolve, and it feels like your entire day revolves around managing those struggles, the meltdowns, the sleep issues, the constant sickness, the gut problems, the overwhelm, I want you to hear this. This is not random, and you're not missing something small. You're missing something foundational within your child's system. And today, we're going to show you exactly what that is. This video is for parents who have done everything. You've searched so deeply, you've been to the pediatrician, you've been to the neurologist, the GI specialist, even genetics. And every time you leave with more labels, more confusion, and not a lot of real solid answers. Or maybe you went the natural route. You changed their diet, removed dyes, sugars, you added supplements, you've tried detoxes, and while maybe you notice some small changes, you still feel like you're chasing something deeper that no one has explained yet. And deep down, you know your child is capable of so much more than this. In this video, we're going to walk you through why your child's challenges, they're not isolated, and why everything is actually connected to what we call the perfect storm. And most importantly, why the nervous system is the missing piece that changes everything. These four things are so true for most parents. Before we go further, let me say this. If your child is struggling at this level, there are four things that are almost always true. Number one, you've exhausted the traditional medical system. Number two, you've spent late nights searching for answers, scrolling, diving deep into videos, trying to learn more. Number three, you've likely tried natural solutions already. Every supplement, detox, diet change. Number four, you're just not trying to get rid of a diagnosis. You are trying to make your child's daily life better, because that's what matters most. And here's the truth. If we can exchange the day-to-day, we can change everything. So let's talk about what's actually going on within each of your kids, because this is where everything starts to make sense. Everything is connected. In traditional healthcare, everything is separated. The gut is one system, the brain is another system, the immune system is another. So you get sent to specialists with each issue. But what if we told you there is one system that is control of it all, the nervous system? This is your child's air traffic control system. It is controlling every function within their body: digestion, immune function, sleep, how they behave, emotional regulation, motor control, motor development, speech. Everything is under that control of the nervous system. So when this system is overwhelmed or dysregulated, everything downstream will begin to struggle. So there's some early signs. There's where parents often say, wait, that was my child. Colic, constipation, ear infections, sleep issues, tension in the body, and you were told this famous word from pediatricians, they'll grow out of it. But what we see clinically in these situations, kids do not grow out of these patterns. They grow into more complex challenges. The older they get, the deeper rooted the issue is. So now let's connect some dots for you guys. Because your child's story is not random. It's a sequence. The first area that we see this storm is the prenatal stress. It often starts before birth. So stress during mom's pregnancy is not just affecting you. It programs the baby's developing nervous system. When the system is under chronic stress, the baby's system starts to wire into a fight or flight state. It's just developed that way. Not calm, not regulated, but it's already on edge. The second journey in the perfect storm is birth stress or trauma. This is something almost no one talks about. We look at interventions like C-sections, inductions, forceps, or vacuum extractions. They can create stress in the upper part of the nervous system. The brainstem, and specifically the vagus nerve, which is designed to down stress, down regulate the body. This is the control center of regulation. So when this area is stressed or it has disruption to it, the nervous shifts into what we call dysautonomia. Too much gas pedal, not enough brake pedal. The third part of this perfect storm is going to be early life stressors and toxins. Then we see within these toxins, like kids aren't designed to endure toxins. So antibiotics, medications, environmental toxins, food toxins. There is a key. These things aren't always the root cause, but they're often the tipping point, right? The nervous system gets tipped when this third part of the storm comes in, because the nervous system has already been overwhelmed and it has less capacity to adapt. Now, I hope everything is starting to make sense, because the first system to break down are sleep, the gut, immune system, and motor development. And if those aren't functioning well, the brain can't fully develop and regulate either. So what shows up later in the system is sensory challenges, ADHD, anxiety, autism spectrum behaviors, not because the brain is broken. It is not broken at all, but because the system underneath it is dysregulated, the nervous system. So the real problem is not rooted in a diagnosis. It's a regulation problem. The nervous system gets stuck in stress, and in that space, it cannot heal, it cannot adapt, and it cannot functional in that optimal capacity. So where do we start when it comes to the solution to this? We don't start with symptoms, not with labels. We start with the nervous system. Our goal is to begin with repairing of the nervous system, so then we can restore regulation. The goal is to shift the body out of fight or flight and back into rest, healing, and growth. Because when the nervous system begins to regulate within a child, everything changes. First, you're going to see sleep improvements. Then you're going to see digestion improvements. Immune function is going to improve. Behavior and emotional regulation will also improve. Not because we chase down these symptoms, but because we addressed the root cause. That is the key here, addressing the foundational piece to all of this system function. Now, we use objective data in our office that measures the nervous system. So we're not guessing. We can actually measure how your child's nervous system is functioning. Within our office, we use insight scans. This allows us to see stress patterns that are stuck on the nervous system. How adaptable is your child's nervous system? How stuck are they in the storm? And instead of guessing, you finally get real answers. If you've made it this far in this video, I want you to take a breath for a second. Because for a lot of parents, this is a moment things finally begin to click on for them. This is a moment where you realize your child is not broken. Their nervous system is completely overwhelmed and unable to adapt. So you get that moment to know, okay, there's something deeper that's going on. And that is something that you can work with. We can work with. We have these answers to this. If this information resonates with you, your next step is incredibly simple. Learn more. Reach out to our team. We have a deeper dive on this topic where we slow down, we go through a presentation, and we explain this in depth. So you can finally get a deeper understanding of how your child's nervous system has gotten to this space, which then has led to the other dysfunctions within their body. They don't need more medications. They need a nervous system that can regulate, adapt, and heal. And when that happens, everything else begins to fall into proper place, proper organization, just like it was intended to. So I highly encourage you guys, if this resonates with you, if this is like, this is the piece for our family, this finally makes sense, reach out to us. We'll get you the deeper dive on this information so you can see how the nervous system is the foundational piece for sending the rest of the systems for your child's body in a positive direction. It starts within that proper regulation of the nervous system. We look forward to serving you and your family at Cultivate.